my mother, Ibaye, rest her soul, she wanted to understand how is it I'm able to know things, not so much divine, but how I was able to know certain things through the divination process. And it was very difficult for me to explain to her how I know it. And it's not that I know it, it's everything that is involved in the whole process. Those forces that we cannot see with our naked eye, are involved, our own spirit, our own head, our own mind is also involved and all of this stuff. But one thing, being a diviner myself, that I've learned over the years is never infer that you know what the divination process is telling you. Meaning, don't come to your own conclusion about what the end result is going to be. Okay? Meaning, don't say you think it's a rat when in fact it could be a dog. That's doing the damage. And this is where you come in with asking many questions, throwing these different instruments that I mentioned before, the 16 curry shells or the divining chain, which is, it all depends on which system it is. It can be 4 and 4 on each side of the chain, make a loop with 8 pieces on it, and it could fall, up and down, like inside out, like belly and back, and or it could be the Ikin, the 16 sacred palm nuts. These systems, these divination systems, are used at different times, in a person's life. Even we have a simpler divination system with just to ask yes and no questions that many people use, even the uninitiate of Ifa, that spiritual order uses. So the people that get initiated to Ifa or to Orisha, they're basically called priests. Now, not everybody that's an initiated priest knows how to divine, okay? Some people, that's not even in their destiny to be a diviner, but they are initiated into that system for various reasons. But so we have this system that we call Ifa, and it's really complex. Divination is not just the only part of it. It entails ceremonies, for initiations, sacrifices, like I mentioned, taboos, different types of paraphernalia, even medicine, medicine that you actually ingest, different types of accoutrements that you use. It have drum songs, phrases, and all of these things, all the different ritual elements that are used. But when you sit down with a diviner, the first thing that they're going to jump on is, you normally, like my process is this. I ask the person for their name, not just any old name, not just a name that say if they were initiate already, the initiates get names, but for their birth name, the name that they were born with, the name that they were given at birth, even if that name was given by, say, somebody that adopted them. Okay? Okay? It's good to know your family name, whichever family name. And then nowadays, too, we realize that, I don't know if many people know this, but, you can name a child anything. You can name a child anything. The child doesn't have to have your last name. It don't have to have the last name of the father. You understand? It could have your one of your family members' name. It could have any name that you please, that you feel like you want to call your child. Okay? You want to call child Bright Star, and that would be on the birth certificate, Bright Star. Okay? And but these names are very important, because in divination, we also have the system of numerology. That's a form of divination right there, because it tells you your key numbers, okay, that talk about what type of person you are, your personality. So if you want to compare that, even in Ifa, even in the divination system of Ifa, if you want to compare that to conventional therapy, it would be like they're looking in the DSM-3R. That's the psychological handbook of different types of personalities, malaise, and different types of mental disorders that people suffer from. The DSM-4, they got the 5 all the way up now. So you look there, and then they can basically get a cap, like a diagnosis on you based on those traits that come out, those personalities that come out. If they analyze you and they see, well, okay, you come to be aggressive, compulsive, passive aggressive, and all of this type of stuff. But in Ifa, we don't judge you and label you like that. What happens in the divination process is you come, you get a reading, they cast whichever devices they're going to use. They cast the devices, right? And they look at the Odu that comes out, and they all come out in numbers, like I mentioned before. There's the basic in Yoruba Ifa, and I say Yoruba Ifa because they have 256 derivative figures, and in Togo Afa, they have 257. Okay, that's a long story by itself. But of those 256 figures, there are thousands of verses. Okay, and the thousands of verses can come out. Any of those thousands of verses can be your situation, can be what you're actually going through. They look at that, right? They look at it, and then they determine, well, what forces are driving this sign, which particular Orishas, for example, are driving this sign, which deities are a part of this sign. They look at the story line. What happened in a case when so and so and so went and did this or was suffering from this? What exactly was done at that particular time? And this same advice is given to the individual, the person. Okay? Now, some people think, well, after you go for divination, you have to spend a heap of money, you have to do this and this and that. But I'm saying this to many people, because people don't normally like to go to divination as a form of counseling and therapy. They only go to divination when they feel like there is some kind of crisis and is no other way out. They done pray to God. They done try to beg everybody to help them, and they done tried everything on their own, and they don't have any way out. So they run to the diviner and thinking they're going to get something sort of like a miracle thing, okay? not thinking that it's something that they have to engage themselves in order for it to work, in order for them to see some life changes, so to see some concrete changes. And there are many things if people normally get divination done. And when I say normally, because say you get divination done once a month, okay? So that's 12 times in a year that you go to a diviner to check to see how are things doing with me. How are things doing with me? The divination process can dig into everything in your life, even some very hidden things. Hidden, things that are hidden. Could be hidden illnesses, you understand? Hidden actions that people are doing, people around you. It could be information about something that is coming that you don't know it's coming, but you got to look out for it because it's coming. It could be information about something that you've done in the past, right? You did it in the past, and now that you did it in the past, okay, it's resurfacing and it's coming and it's creating a problem for you in the future or in the present, okay? It could be divination. The divination could reveal, well, if some, as simple as if somebody's coming to see you, whether they're coming with something good or not. Is the person around you good for you or not? Do you need, is there something in your house, for instance, that you need to get rid of? You understand? Okay? Or do you need to change your environment, change your house, change your job, change your clothes, change your look? You understand? Different things. But it's not a way for you to get like this big miracle all of a sudden. And I'm not saying that some people have experienced things after going to divination that is equated to miracles, because even with the divination process in conjunction with rituals and ebos, people's lives have been saved. People have come with a disease, and by the time they finish with the divination, the ritual and the ebo process, okay, the sacrifice process, they go back to the doctor and they find out, well, I don't have cancer anymore. Everybody's looking at you like, well, whoa, the doctors are baffled. Like, how did this happen? Oh, it's a miracle. People say it's a miracle. But it's a science more than a miracle, okay? To get the divination process, to go through it, and then follow through and see what the things that you did manifest, okay? See good results, okay? See good results. So I want to talk a little bit more about the divination process, okay? Because, a lot of people maybe have never really gone to anyone for divination, because like I say, we got to get it out of our psyche that is something wrong with it. A lot of people that are Christian, they feel that there's something wrong with it because the Bible says so. Okay? The Bible says so. People hear the word rituals, and then they're like, oh, my God, what are they doing, calling them the devil or something? No, but everything we do in life is a ritual. We get up in the morning, we take a bath. It's a ritual. We brush our teeth. It's a ritual. We put on our clothes, get dressed. That's a ritual. You understand? Rituals are just something that you do in a particular way, and you do it, repetitively in a particular way. Okay? So the same process, the same way you should look at if, say, you go to the diviner and the diviner say, okay, your ancestors, okay, this is another thing that the Bible preaches against, but in African spirituality, our ancestors come first, We never forget them, even after they're dead and gone. We never forget them. We always want to honor them because we are living